It's a big screen. I don't need to go through the spiel. We're all veterans at this now. Looks like every tripod has a camera, so I'm gonna say we're good. On a daily basis, so it's actually not really used for anything. It's overflow for big recruiting. And then it's kind of overflow space for special events that are hosted in the recruit room, where I've been kind of pushing our special events group to try to utilize it a little more, because it does have a screen, a projector, and it's here. And it has 2 microphones built into the room. So
All right, folks, we're going to go right to questions. Right here. Yep. Over here to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, I know this is hard. Both sides of the ball. Do you have any explanation for the way you guys kind of came apart there?
Well, I think when you looked at the first half, physically, we were playing really well up front, especially on defense. I'm not sure how many yards they had, in the first half, running the ball, and then they had those 2 long plays, and then in the second half it was more of the same. Too many big plays. That's really, when you look at the game. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was just way too many big plays. And on offense, we had too many penalties, and it got us off schedule, and we just didn't do a good job converting on third down. And you combine all these things together, and then it gets out of the hand at the end because we're probably throwing the ball too much.
Over to the left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Right, in the second half, there was a lot of penalties that put you guys back, but you made it kind of reasonable on fourth down, and CJ's visibly pleading to go for it in that situation. Given where the game was at that point, why not go for it there?
Well, I mean, we're always going to be aggressive, but at those times I felt like it was the right thing to do, was to punt.
Over here to the right, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you changed your defensive coaching staff and brought Jim in part because you were frustrated by the lack of in-game adjustments. Just your reaction to what you saw today, where they were just repeatedly able to break off that many big plays.
Big plays, yeah. I'm going to have to obviously look and see, where all the breakdowns were, but it wasn't just one area. There was, a missed tackle on the first play, and then we got beat on a double move on the second play, and then there was obviously some misfits in the run game on some other plays, and there was also the pass, to the tight end. So a few plays in the back end, and then a couple of the runs. So. Yeah, obviously the first thing we need to do in games like this is play great defense, and other than 2 plays in the first half, I felt like we did, but not in the second half.
Third row left, Stephen Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, Coach. During the first half, you get the early lead. You put it in there into the field twice, and I think on both series there was a screen pass and then a running play on second and long, turn it over on downs, kick a field goal, may have left 10 points out there. Just, do you feel like you missed the opportunity to grab control of the game at that point with a couple of the play calls there?
Yeah, I think it was, a combination of a lot of things. We spent a lot of time trying to, come up with things that we think, can get us into the end zone. And sometimes it's execution, sometimes, it's other things. But no, I think those were opportunities for us to kind of jump ahead, certainly early on in the game, and it didn't happen.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1.
Ryan, you were really blunt last year. You just called what happened there a failure. I'm sure you feel similar right now. Does this feel worse that it happened again, or what are your emotions right now as you evaluate this?
Hard to say right now because this is not the outcome that we all envisioned. I thought we had a really good preparation. I thought we were building towards playing really well in this game, and we were fighting there in the first half, and I felt really good going into the second half, and we just didn't execute well enough in the second half. So I don't know how to answer that other than I thought we played hard. I thought we were fighting out there, but in the end we came up short.
Second row left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, when this is your goal and 2 years in a row you guys come short of that goal, like where do you go from here? What do you do to move forward from this?
Well, we'll figure out what's next. I don't know exactly what is next right now, but that's life at Ohio State, and I certainly know what this game means to everybody, and so when you lose, it all comes back to me. I'm the head coach, and that's what probably hurts the most.
Over to the right, Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.com.
Yeah, Ryan, this obviously was a play-in game for the Big Ten championship. You guys aren't going to be going to that game, but do you feel like you still deserve consideration for the playoff, or is that tough after the performance like today? Well, I thought we were in it, and we were fighting there at the end. It obviously got out of control down the stretch, but it wasn't like we were outmatched in terms of just overall play. I don't think. So yeah, as we get to those decisions, I think you got to look at the body of work and what we've done, and we got a lot of good pieces on this team, and we came up short today, but I think if we were able to get a shot in top 4, we'd be a dangerous team.
Second row left, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Ryan, you mentioned the coverage breakdowns. I'm curious, just as a play caller, when your offense is struggling with penalties and you're getting behind schedule, and then defense goes on the field and you have a big breakdown, how does that affect what your mindset is in terms of aggressiveness as a play caller?
Yeah, it all goes into the game. When you feel like you're playing good defense, you feel like you're playing the ball control game, and you can go back and forth a little bit. When you feel like you're giving up some ground, then you feel like you got to catch up quickly and try to get it back a little bit faster, because the game's getting away from you. So, all those things go into your mind while you're in the game.
Over to the right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Ryan, when you're weighing decisions like that punt on 4th and 5 in the third quarter, or the late field goal you kicked, how much do you take into consideration the message that sends to your team there, and whether or not you felt like those decisions maybe sapped any of the aggressiveness out of your team?
I think in games like that, you have to play the field position game, and 4th and 5 and around midfield. If it was 4th and 3, 4th and 2, I think maybe you take a shot there. I didn't feel like we were desperate at that point, and so I felt like that was the right thing to do. And I just feel like, you're not in those situations if you're converting on third downs, and we didn't do that today.
Over to the left, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, how much do you feel like emotional and intangible things go into determining who wins this game? And how did you feel like your team handled that this week and today?
Yeah, I thought we had a great week. I thought, like you said, emotionally we came into this thing swinging, but we came up short. So I just got to get my mind wrapped around why that happened today and how in the end we didn't finish this thing the right way.
Over to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
You talk so much about competitive stamina and toughness, obviously, all year long. It's been a big trademark for your team. At halftime, you still had a lead despite all the miscues and mistakes. Did you feel like that team was flat coming out of the second half? And is that maybe the biggest disappointment, is that you didn't respond in the second half?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I felt like we had a lot of juice coming out of the locker room, but we just didn't do it. But yeah, we're winning at halftime, and felt like we were in a decent spot to go play. We got to, my message to the team was we got to win the first 6 minutes of the third quarter right here, and then go from there, and that didn't happen.
Second row aisle, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Coach, could you evaluate C.J. Stroud's performance today? I mean, his numbers were good, but you look at the opposing quarterback, and his numbers may look even better, and maybe you needed an all-world effort today.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he competed. I thought he played hard all the way to the end. Made some good throws, and there's nobody who wanted to win more than C.J. Stroud today.
Front row, right, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Thank you, Jerry. Ryan, I'm just wondering, when you lose a game like this, but there were like 4 or 5 just haymaker plays that they hit, is it more stunning? What is that sense you have right now? And then also, they were basically not afraid to take some shots. I mean, because everybody thought it would come down to J.J. McCarthy having to throw the ball to beat you guys, and bingo, I mean, I don't know, how do you put this one in the file, I guess?
Well, you got to obviously go back and evaluate before you just say something that's probably incorrect, because everything's happening so fast. But certainly there were breakdowns in the back end. I mean, that was clear to see. And when you do that in a big game, then you saw what happened. And the margin for error is so tiny, and all of a sudden the floodgates kind of open up, and the game gets out of control, and it should have never happened.
What was the feedback you were getting from CJ from plays y'all called and stuff? Sometimes it looked pretty good out there throwing the ball down the field, sometimes not. I mean, what was the feedback you were getting, and did they throw y'all some curveballs, I guess, defensively?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're a good defense, number 1 defense in the country statistically, and they did good. Did a good job coming in with a solid game plan, but there wasn't anything out there that we hadn't seen before. So again, I think we just in the end didn't make enough plays.
And final question, front row, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, as far as the running backs go, Chip hadn't had much of a role carrying the ball for you until this game. What went into using him as much as you did, and just how did you think he did? And also Mayan, was he at full strength?
Yeah, well, not having we didn't have Trey available, and then Mayan, was coming off of his ankle, and he gave it a shot, but there were some runs in there early that he maybe wish he had back. I don't know, but then and we felt like Chip could go in there and give us a little bit of a shot, even though he hadn't played. We had to play some depth. So Dallin got in there a couple times, and then Chip as well. So, the good news is we had some pretty good depth there, but certainly Mayan wasn't 100% today.
Great, Coach. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys.
Defensive end JT Tuimoloau. Where are we? Right there. You can go right here. Over here to the right, Austin Ward, Lettermen Row. I'm sorry, Austin Ward Rivals, 97.1.
JT, can you describe what the emotions were like in that locker room? I know this is going to be difficult for you all to probably process right now.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a tough loss. You know, those are pretty much the emotions right there. But you know, we still gotta keep our head up and keep moving forward.
Over to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
JT, you mentioned keep moving forward. How do you do that? This is what you've been working for all year. What do you look forward to now?
Draw on board, go back and see what we did wrong and go ahead and fix it.
Over here to the right, Clay Hall, WSYX.
JT, was J.J. McCarthy much better, different than what you expected today?
You know, JJ's a great player. I mean, we just got to fix up things on our end, and we just hurt ourselves out there.
Over here to the Adam, you got one? Yeah. Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.
You guys gave up a couple of big plays in the first half, but otherwise it seemed like you had some control. What was the message in terms of limiting the big plays, and why was it hard to make those stop or to prevent them in the second half?
The message was just play Buckeye ball. Just the little things came up, and that's what hurt us.
We'll go Nathan Barrett over here to the right, Cleveland.com.
How did the game change there in the second half when now they're playing with a lead? It just seemed like they were able to really start grinding away with the offensive line. Just how did you feel like the game sort of changed the balance there?
The big games like this are all about the little things. I mean, just playing, keep our head down, and we just gotta go ahead and keep fixing those.
Right next door, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Yeah, JT, basically a lot of the thinking going into this game was you guys make them throw the ball. Y'all got a heck of a chance. And they came out throwing the ball and stuff. Did that catch y'all a little bit unawares or surprised? I mean, obviously, first half you guys were still leading and stuff, but the way J.J. McCarthy stepped up and made those plays was a little bit of a shock to the system.
No, yeah, we just, going in, we were just, we knew they were a good running team, but, we had to go there and be ready for everything.
Yeah, but was there a moment in this game where you thought defensively you guys had a grip on it? I mean, that you were taking control. Do you remember any moment like that?
It was every moment, with my brothers, I'm not going to give up. With us, there's still a lot of time on the clock. So, we just got to go ahead and just fix those things after this game.
Great. JT, thank you very much. Tim, just go ahead and hold on to it there. Tim, you can keep it there. All right, we'll open up the floor for Coach Knowles, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Jim, was there anything, to your left, Jim, there you go. Is there anything Michigan did today, that surprised you, or did the way JJ threw the ball deep surprise you at all today?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job of, making some throws under pressure, but we knew he could throw the ball on the move. I just thought he played well when he had to.
Over here, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Thank you very much. Hey, Jim, when they hit two big plays like that, a missed tackle on one and just a blown coverage on the other by an individual, what do y'all go back and reassess? I'm talking about they kept them in the game there early. And in the second half, just what got away from you guys from your vantage point defensively?
You just go in at halftime and you say, hey, we're on it. We're doing well. We had we had things defended in the run game in the first half, and just a couple big plays. So you just tell the guys, hey, we just got to keep it going. We're on top of the run, and we gave up a couple bad plays. Nothing to get panicked about. And then just the second half when they hit a couple, obviously there at the end, they hit a couple big runs. That's just disheartening. Obviously, I have to take the blame for that, and I should, just got to do a better job. It's a story of explosive plays. I thought we matched well, and nothing well in a loss like that. But we matched through the course of the game, but too many explosives, and that's disheartening. For not just the defense, but the team, the fans, and I have to take responsibility for that.
Second row left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Yeah, Jim, just following up on the explosives, if I remember correctly, at one point this year you said, you want to keep a team to 5 explosives or less. Today, 5 explosives cost you the game. So is there something that you have to change philosophically so that doesn't happen in the future?
Yeah, you have to evaluate. The explosives, when they go for touchdowns, they become a different story. Typically, the course of my career, you preach, the explosive plays, and you have a chance to get the guy on the ground, and then you recover. But when they go for touchdowns, certainly that's something that falls on me, and you're right, I need to look at it.
Over here to the right, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Jim, I know you haven't looked at film yet, but on those explosive plays, is there anything you wish you had done differently as a play caller, or things, or certain moments you wish you had a do-over on?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, I haven't watched the film, but any call that goes for an explosive, you have to look at, you have to take responsibility for, and you can't sit there as a coach and say, well, we were in the right place, or this guy just did that, or he just did that. You got to look at it conceptually, and you got to evaluate it. You got to evaluate the call from top to bottom and the game plan and the whole deal. That falls on my shoulders.
Second row aisle, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Jim, last year this game was kind of what teetered for Coach Day, and obviously the coaching changes that he made. You were one of the main ones. How then do you kind of respond to what happened today, and what needs to change going forward, since this was supposed to be the turnaround?
Mm-hmm. I just take responsibility. That's all I can do is say, hey, I didn't do a good enough job, and I need to do better.
Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
First of all, Jim, just how stunning is this that this happened today? And second, the pass defense has been an issue this year with giving up big plays. Is it something is it a technique thing, a fundamental thing, a scheme thing, a personnel thing? What can you say about that?
Stunning. I don't know. It's football. It's a hard game, and you just all those things you mentioned. You just got to take responsibilities. Obviously, the players are hurting much more than me, and I'm crushed. But they're young men who put their heart and soul into it. So they're the ones that I have to be able to look in the eye and talk about all those things that you said. Scheme, technique, fundamentals. Everything that goes into it has to fall on my shoulders.
We'll go just a few more questions far left. Doug Lesmaurice, Cleveland.com.
Jim, I think the first explosive on the touchdown on the missed tackle, I think you guys brought 6 on that play, including 2 linebackers and 2 safeties on that third down. Just what in that situation made you want to be that aggressive with that play call in that moment?
Well, we've been scrambling around. We've been really holding our own at that point. He's been doing a good job of making plays on the scramble. So, I thought it'd be a good idea to put him under some pressure, make him throw it quick, off his back foot. He made some good throws in that situation.
Over here to the right, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
As you alluded to, you guys were controlling the run in the first half, but even before those explosives, they obviously got things going with the run game, and we're kind of chunking out some bigger yards, grinding things. Just what did you see that changed there in terms of either their execution or your lack of?
No, I think they switched up their scheme a little bit. They were really hunting for ways to to run the ball and got us with a thing or two here or there. I thought we responded. The runs that got us were simple runs, and that's the hard part that I have to look at.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals.
Jim, I'm not going to pretend like mobile quarterbacks are ever easy to defend. We've seen this a couple of times for Ohio State this year, that they seem to particularly give this defense some problems. Why is that? What could you maybe do differently, do you think?
Yeah, we have a hard charging defensive line, and I think, you know, then at that point, you're not going to try to hold the guys back. So it comes down to me, you know, continuing to try to scheme. And we tried a couple things against them for that. Some worked, some didn't. But ultimately, you don't want to hold the guys back. So then it's my problem. It falls on me to make those changes.
And final question, Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.com.
Jim, Blake Corum had kind of been the focal point of their offense most of the season. He obviously wasn't much of a factor today. How do you think that changed their approach, and was it hard to adjust in terms of just them taking chances or anything that they did differently?
No, it wasn't. You know, he's a great player. It wasn't. I don't think it really changed anything. I think, you know, we were ready, but we failed. I failed in the long run over the course of the game.
Real quickly, could you give an impression of J.J. McCarthy and just the way he played? Did he impress you more than maybe you think? Maybe impress you?
No, I mean he's impressive. He just manages things well, throws on the run, you know, makes plays stretch out even longer, and he can run the ball when he has to. You know, I think he just does a really good job.
Great. Coach, thank you very much. All right, folks, we're gonna open up the floor for a few minutes for quarterback C.J. Stroud. Over here to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals 96.1.
CJ, I think the assumption for many of us in here is that this is the last time you'd be playing in the Horseshoe. Can you give us any insight on what your emotions are that it didn't turn out maybe the way you envisioned?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To have the opportunity to go play this lovely game again. Honestly, I just don't know how to feel right now. It's kind of just happened so fast. So I don't know if this is my last time playing in the shoe, man, but I've enjoyed every second I've gotten in there. Came a long way, man, from first game playing the shoe, being booed, everybody not saying very nice things about me. And I think I've earned everybody's respect as time has gone on. And I think I've fallen in love with Columbus, Ohio, and Buckeye Nation. So I've enjoyed every second of it. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, man. But I appreciate everybody that comes and supports every game. And I don't think one game defines us. I don't think that this game defines this team. I would take this team over anybody in the country every week, man. So I'm blessed to be a part of this fraternity and this brotherhood. Yes.
Third row left, Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports.
CJ, this is really rough to kind of predict the future, but there is the outside chance you guys could still qualify for this playoff. And if that were to happen, you get back to work, what can you guys do to kind of get things going back in the right direction? And failing that, was this your last game? Would you play in a Rose Bowl? Would you play in another New Year's Six bowl game if that's where Ohio State gets sent?
Yeah, I definitely think there's still an opportunity for us to make the playoff, but I mean, this is the game, man. This is the one. So, I try to fight everything I had. I try to give it, man. I try to make plays, even sometimes when they weren't even there. I try to do everything I possibly could, man. But it's on me. I mean, this game is really on me. I gotta do more. So, yeah. I mean, I'll have to take it up in consideration. Whatever happens, I don't know. I can't give you a final answer on whatever happens. I mean, it's all has to happen over these next couple weeks. So, yeah, I don't have an immediate answer for that question. But yeah, I mean, this is the one that we really wanted. This is 365 days of everybody laughing, man, talking. And I thought we started out strong and just laid an egg in the second, man. So, second half. And I'm still really grateful for everybody in here, but yeah.
Over to the right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
CJ, when you guys elected the punt there on 4th and 5, you kind of lingered out there. It looked like you wanted to go for it. I guess how did that decision hit you, and did that decision to punt do anything to maybe throw off the mindset of the offense at all?
I mean, when you get in a first and what was it, 40, like it was crazy. I've never been in a situation like that in football, and I thought we fought back to get in decent field position. And I mean, Coach Day felt like it wasn't smart to go for it on fourth right there. I mean, I wanted it. I wanted to go for it really bad. I think I'm still one of the best players in the country, and I think that I can make that play. I think those type of moments, I want the ball, I want to do things, and but I have to trust Coach Day, and I do, and I will ride with him every game. So, but I mean, everybody focuses on one little thing or one half. It's so many little things that played a part into us losing this game. And really, I blame it on myself. I got to do more, man. I got to make plays on fourth down. I got to just be better. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to go for it, but at the end of the day, man, I think we got to stop the next drive. Well, I mean, if you get a stop, then you get the ball back down 4. So, I mean, it goes both ways, man. It's like flipping a coin. So, you don't really know. And you have to kind of play your chances. And we have so much respect for our defense that in those moments we know, or we hope so, they're going to get a stop. And, I mean, I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. We got to score more damn points. So,
over to the left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
CJ, you kind of mentioned a little bit some of the stuff that you've been through since you've been the starting quarterback here. Regardless of numbers, what your record is, any of that, how do you want people to remember your time here if this was the last time they get to see you play in this stadium?
That's a great question. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, people are gonna say I never won a game, and I understand. People are gonna say I never won a Big Ten championship. I understand. So I mean, when it comes to that, I just have to eat it, man. It's life. Nothing's ever been easy for me. I don't expect to get it easy. God puts when you pick up the cross, man. God puts you through more, and you have to be joyful in those moments. So, yeah, it's tough, and I think I said earlier this week I'm gonna be known as the best, and I don't think that I'll have that respect from Buckeye Nation anymore. Even if I do, I appreciate it, but honestly, I mean, I wish I could have did more. I wish I could have won these games. I think, but no one can question my heart. I don't think anybody can question how hard I tried to win this game, how hard I left everything on the table. It was nothing that no rock I didn't flip over. Like, nothing I could have done more, I felt, other than play better today, but it's not like I left it to chance, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question, but.
We're going to do just a couple more questions. Over here to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, you guys had chances to put more points on the board in the first half. How significant was that, and how surprising is it that you were only able to score 3 points in the second half? And was it any adjustments that they made? How could you kind of put your finger on that?
Yeah, I mean, in the first half, we were shooting ourselves in the foot. We went down, scored the first drive. Second drive, we should have probably scored again, but we kicked the field goal. And after that, man, we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. Yeah, we just, honestly, that's really what was going on. I mean, credit to Team of North's defense, and but we scored more points in the first half. I think this game would have been a lot different. So, and then we come out in the second, and we just shooting ourselves in the foot again, just getting penalties, holding, all type of stuff, man, and missing throws, missing runs, blocks, everything, man. So, but it happens in every game, and sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. And against a matchup team, number 3 team in the country, like. You don't get away with those type of things, and we knew that, and we fought so hard. Like, I was on it, like Coach Day was on it, the low line was on it. We were on making sure that we weren't going to have any negative plays, and even though it's part of the game, it happens. But at the end of the day, like, we don't. If those things don't happen, I think we have a different outcome. But it is what it is. So.
Over to the left, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
CJ, we know you guys were thinking about this for a year. I think we could see the emotion from you after the first touchdown, what that meant to you. Mm-hmm. How did you think you and this team just handled the emotion and the intangible part of all that this week and today when you had been thinking about it for a year?
Yeah, man, it's been tough, to keep it honest with you, man. Even going through what I went through last year after the game, and it was tough, and it was a harsh pill to swallow for 365 days of just nonstop, man. And I mean, but they had the right to, and they have the right to again. So, I mean, it's going to be tough again, but I think this program is tough. I think the coaches are tough. I think these players are tough, and we'll be able to handle it at the end of the day. So, just got to move on and lick our wounds again and just try to be better. So hopefully we end up making the playoff again and still trying to contend for a national championship. But this one game does not define this team.
And final question, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, how would you evaluate your own performance today on a day when you put up decent numbers but came up on the wrong side of the scoreboard?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that I definitely played with as much heart as I could. I definitely tried to do anything I possibly could to win this game. And but at the end of the day, man, it's on me. I'm the quarterback. I take all blame. I take all the credit. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I made plays. I put the ball in position where it needed to be caught. Sometimes they came up and they made good plays on defense, and sometimes we just had little mistakes like a drop or something like that. And but at the end of the day, man, I got to do more. So, I mean, I wish I could have. But what we did, I mean, with this season, man, going 11-0, and losing this one game, like I said before, does not define us. And it doesn't. If so many people don't put in work throughout this season, man, and we let everything. Like, I stopped living a personal life personally. Like, I let everything go. My mom, like, she'll be the one to admit, man. Like, sometimes I don't even pick up the phone because I'm locked in. I'm watching film. I'm doing anything I can possibly do to win this game, and I hope people appreciate that from this whole staff. But I know probably they won't, and it is what it is. But there's no stone I didn't turn over to try to win this game, and just gotta swallow this pill. It's gonna be big. It's gonna hurt, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just stay prayed up, man. Stay prayed up. So thank you guys, man. It's been a blessing. Love y'all.
Thank you, CJ.